J.K. Rowling sure has been busy lately, taking her transphobic spiral to unbelievable new lows, like she's fully turning herself into a real-life movie villain. Or, I guess maybe book villain would be more appropriate. And I debated whether or not I even wanted to make this video, because, it's like she's always up to something, whatever. And most people have heard about this stuff already, but there is a connection between the things that she has been doing recently that ties it together and makes it far more insane than each thing on its own, and I haven't really heard anyone talking about that. And it's something people should be aware of and be paying attention to. So, I try not to spend too much energy on her because honestly, who has the time? I mean, obviously she does, because she's a billionaire who could literally be doing anything, but instead has spent every day of the last several years of her life on Twitter seething about trans people. Like, if you scroll through her posts, it is just a constant and endless stream of transphobia. Alright, so I was scrolling through J.K. Rowling's Twitter feed to get a clip for this video, right? And dude, I scrolled for several minutes straight, and out of this entire clip, which I'm speeding up by the way for this video, only 5 of these tweets are not TERF tweets. Literally everything else is complaining about trans people, praising TERFs, praising anti-trans legislation, just straight up saying transphobic shit. I'm not exaggerating, it is her entire life. This is all she talks about. But thankfully, I don't have to interact with that to keep up with what she's been doing thanks to our sponsor, Ground News. I can stay informed from a safe distance. Their website and app gathers coverage from around the world in one place and provides key insight on how the news is being covered. So when I come across a story like J.K. Rowling versus the pronoun police, I can see that it's 100% right-wing coverage from only 2 sources and decide if I need to spend my energy on that or move on to a story like this with 29 sources and coverage across the political spectrum. Stephen Fry, the narrator of all 7 Harry Potter books, says J.K. Rowling has been radicalized by TERFs. Tell me more. I can read through the summary for a quick rundown, check out the bias comparison to see how differently each side covers the same story, and when I want to dig deeper into the story, all the news coverage is right here, with critical info about each source, like their political bias, factuality rating, and who owns them. Ground News continues to help me protect my peace while engaging with topics like this. I highly recommend giving it a try. Using my special discount link directly supports my channel and gets you 40% off the Unlimited Access Vantage plan. So click the link in my description below or go to groundnews.com/Turner and check it out. So J.K. Rowling is beyond obsessed. She is completely consumed by hatred, which has led her to do and say a lot of vile, detestable things over the years, but her recent actions take it to a whole new level. She is actively endangering people and causing widespread harm. So today we're going to talk about what she's been up to lately, starting with directing her 14 million followers to take pictures of women in public restrooms and post them online. Because she's a feminist. So when asked how she plans to police public toilets, J.K. Rowling said, "Quite easily really. Decent men will stay out as they always have, so we can assume all who don't are a threat, given their disregard for women's and girls' safety, privacy, and dignity. Photographing, reporting, and disseminating such men's images online will be a piece of cake." So that is 1, illegal, and 2, the same bathroom panic BS that is actively causing cis women to also be assaulted, harassed, and even arrested for looking too masculine in the women's room. Calling for the transvestigation and doxing of anyone who doesn't fit classical feminine standards is not what I would consider feminism, but J.K. Rowling insists her anti-trans crusade is actually a selfless effort to protect women. I think these ladies would disagree. Safe to say, if there's a menace in the women's room, it's far more likely to be a TERF than a trans woman. Keep that in mind while we move on to talk about J.K. Rowling's Women's Fund. Sounds nice, doesn't it? A legal finding fund for women protecting their sex-based rights. It's an anti-trans organization that gives TERFs money so that they can sue businesses and the government for being trans-inclusive. And it does something. It does something else that has very concerning implications. That's really what I want to talk about. We fund legal representation for women in organizations who have lost their livelihoods or are facing tribunals because of their expressed beliefs. Facing tribunals is what I want to focus on here. That's like legal trouble, right? You've been sued or arrested for your expressed beliefs, your sex-based beliefs, transphobia. So how might a transphobe get themselves arrested? Well, they could follow women into the restroom and take pictures of them and post it online, which is exactly what J.K. Rowling just told her 14 million followers to do. So from where I'm sitting, I am of the opinion that it looks like someone might be funding an illegal trans witch hunt. She's actively calling for her followers to break the law and offering to pay their legal fees when they get arrested. Because while hunting down trans people and being arrested for transphobia is something she fantasizes about, she doesn't have to do it. She's a billionaire who doesn't have to do her own bidding. She can use her obscene wealth to get other people to do it for her. And it's not even a hard sell because she has spent years building a cult following of people whose entire identity is that they hate trans women. She is connected to the biggest anti-trans organizations and hate groups. She's friends with other famous TERFs who have their own massive followings. There is no shortage of people at J.K. Rowling's disposal that she can mobilize to fight for this perceived feminist cause of protecting women by attacking trans people. So that's what I wanted to point out here. She is coming for trans people from all angles, on so many levels, finding any way she can to weaponize her absurd wealth, power, and influence against the trans community. And doing so while pretending that she and other transphobes are actually being oppressed simply for being transphobic. Even within that first line, have lost their livelihoods or are facing tribunals because of their expressed beliefs. These people aren't losing their jobs or getting arrested for expressing their beliefs. They lose their jobs for breaking company policy. They get arrested for breaking the law. Nobody's getting in trouble like this for having transphobic beliefs. You have to make such a big deal about your transphobia to actually face these sorts of consequences. It is the way you act on those beliefs. Doing crazy stuff like harassing trans people. That's what gets them in trouble, just as they'd get in trouble for harassing anyone else. But TERFs genuinely believe that trans people don't deserve the same rights and protections as everyone else. It's offensive to them that they'd be expected to treat us as equals. And when they face the consequences of their actions, they perceive it as oppression. And that perceived oppression is what J.K. Rowling is fighting. But it's just equality. But she doesn't like that we have those rights. She doesn't like that we have those same protections. And she could throw her money behind lawsuits and, whatever, coming after places that simply provide trans-inclusive environments. Did you get fired for refusing to serve a trans customer against your job's conduct policy? Sue them and I'll pay for it. Were you kicked out of a coffee shop for yelling slurs at a trans barista? Sue them and I'll pay for it. Did you go to a private event that allowed trans people to use their preferred bathroom? Sue them and I'll pay for it. And while you're in there, don't forget, take a picture so we can dox them online. And if you get arrested for that, I'll pay for it. And of course, let's get some more anti-trans legislation passed and challenge any legislation that gives them rights or protections you already know. I'll pay for it. You know what she should be paying for? Harry Potter tattoo cover-ups. The number one most regretted millennial tattoo, right? If we're worried about irreversible body modifications, let's start there. All in all, J.K. Rowling telling her fans to illegally hunt down and harass trans people while also offering up legal representation for people get in trouble for their expressed beliefs paints a certain picture. I'll just say that. So it's something worth paying attention to. I don't think she's going to stop anytime soon, and historically it seems like it's safe to assume she will escalate. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Defy the TERFs by getting yourself some trans rights merch over on SkeletiTurner.com. All the proceeds go towards my top surgery, so they'd hate that. Subscribe to join the Goose Troop today and give this video a thumbs up because one like equals one honk. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.